Oh, hi. I didn't know I went live already. Sorry. So great. I'm happy you're here. Thank you. I had no idea. So I wanted to share a story today about how family patterns come into play and what we can do about them, unhealthy family patterns. And so nice to see you here, Jasmine. So I have a teenage son who is not the fastest person in the world, and it's hard for him to get out of bed in the morning. And so there's this pattern that comes in place where I come in and say, time to get up. And then the agreement between he and I is I do that 3 times, and then it's his responsibility. He's not great with alarms, so I don't do alarms. So So this morning, this is what happened. I went in there and I was saying, time to get up. And it was like 15 minutes before we had to leave. And I'm getting anxious, right? And he'd be like, like a 15-year-old or 16-year-old boy would do. And my response to that was, I did this grunt, basically. And then that went, 10 minutes before it was time to leave. Same thing happened, and I grunted. And then 5 minutes before it's time to leave, he's still in bed, or he's actually like half in, half out. And I'm like, 5 minutes, we gotta go. And he, he's moving slow, and I just like grunted like louder, more so. He ended up, that it happened a couple more times. We were later than our usual time. And he got really frustrated at one point. He started to get really angry at one point. So here's what I recognized. So I asked him in the car, I said, hey, what happens to you when I do that? And he said, can't walk here. You're disappointed in me. And so fascinating to get that response. Because that is not, I guess in some ways I am disappointed in him not being on time or, being more succinct with his time. But my grunt was more just releasing my frustration. And so, hi, Sherry. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today is I was doing something that I thought was totally fine to do. And he was reading that as I'm not good enough, and I'm not good enough, and you're disappointed in me. Wow. So, and you know what? There's actually a name for this. Happy New Year, Sherry. Happy New Year, Jasmine. There's a name for this, and I'm going to start talking about this more because I saw my first TED Talk on this, and I've been studying this for years, and it's finally getting to be more common. It's called neuroception. And it's about how we as humans, we scan our environment to see if it's safe or if it's dangerous or if it's life-threatening. Or if, little danger, medium danger, or if it's actually life-threatening. And so my son, in his scanning of the environment, thanks, Jasmine. Happy New Year. She says Happy New Year to both of us. And hi, Pam. So he was scanning his environment in his scanning, and I'm just like, my whole body actually shows that. And so this is groundbreaking. Like, this to me was like one of the most profound things I learned. I learned this about 8 years ago. And I try to pay attention to my body and what I'm doing and how I listen and how I move. But this was just another example. Like, the reason why I love parenting is because parenting is personal development. It's all about personal development. Like, we learn what triggers us, what's hard for us, what's challenging for us, how we respond to behaviors we never planned on happening, situations we never realized we'd find ourselves in. And so in this situation, I was responding in a way that I felt was justified. And for him, it's actually affecting significantly his self-esteem. Like, Mom, he told me that he feels that I'm disappointed in him when I do that. So of course I'm going to stop. Like I'm going to have to find a different noise. I'm going to have to find a different way of dealing with my frustration. I'm going to have a different way of how I show my facial expressions when he's, and letting him own being late. We actually weren't late to school today, surprise. But because I have a half an hour drive to drive my kids to school, so it's a big deal. It takes at least 30 minutes, and it depends on traffic. So this is just the story that I wanted to share with you of how we show up in the world, how we express ourselves, the actions that we do, and how much they affect our kids or other people. Like this doesn't just apply to kids; it applies to all people. But I am passionate about how we raise our children, and I'm passionate about how this kind of scenario affects our kids, and how I, as a parent, can change my behavior because I want my son to have a good experience, right, in this world. And I need to find another way to and actually I probably went in there 10 times to wake him up this morning. And I should have just stopped and let him take ownership, let him be late, let him get the tardy slip, let that go on his record, and I stay away from it, right? And so anyway, I just wanted to share that because I think to me anyway, it's profound. Krista, hi. So nice to see you. I find it profound to really be able to realize how much we impact the world with how our face, I'm going to say that, Jasmine. So how our facial expressions and how our, the way we express ourselves impacts other people, and especially our kids and our family and the people we love, but how we are in the world. It's huge. It's really, really huge. And the research on this is starting to expand dramatically. So I'm so excited because this is something, again, I've been studying for 8 years. So I love what you say, Jasmine. You're a mom of 3 boys, so you're allowed to grunt. And, I would have to say there's times I can grunt, and it's no big deal. But the vocalization, there's something called prosody, the vocalization, like how I do it and the tone of that grunt and how it shows up. That grunt, and I know it, was definitely a grunt of disappointment. So anyway, I like what you say, and there's times that make sense, and there's ways to do it that it's like, that it might be more expressing my frustration, but there's times when it really does show disappointment. So thank you for watching, and I love having everyone here, and I love your comments, and comment more. Tell me more about if you've had experiences like this where you didn't realize that you impacted someone so much because of how you showed up or how you expressed something non-verbally. Hi, Sukhwinder. So happy to have you here. So, thank you for all your comments, and just I wanted to share that. I wanted to share that journey. I love the journey of parenting and how much it's impacted me, and how much it is a mirror to how I'm showing up and what I'm doing and how I'm impacting my kids. So, you have daily experiences like yours. 3 boys, that's a huge, huge deal. I don't know what ages they are, but maybe you and I should talk at some point. 3 boys, that's a lot. So thank you for loving your boys, Jasmine. I just want to say that because one thing I'm sure of is that parents don't get support enough, and they don't get cared for enough by society. So just thank you for the love that you give to your boys. All right, so I just hope that's all I wanted to say today, and just have a beautiful, amazing day, and just thank you so much for being here. All right, bye-bye.